Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to another edition of The Fight Guys. Today we are in Canoga Park, California, and returning cast is...
It's a secret.
Steven Correño, back KO Artist Sports.
Dominic Verdine of RingTV.com and IFL.
And
Hank Lundy. And Mike Wazowski from...
yeah, I've never lost a fight. I'm Hank, a.k.a. Hank Lundy, who's never lost a fight.
Yes.
You know? Mauricio Herrera, I'm coming for you. Frederick Hawthorne.
I said that in your hood.
And as you can see, today's special guest is John Molina Jr., the Gladiator.
The Gladiator. Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, the comeback. And the only reason why is because most of the guys here on the panel had him
We already lost one.
going against had him losing going against the Ruslan. So we can talk about that first.
Wait, most of the guys. So who was the brave soul that was with me? Oh, okay.
That would be me, sir.
All right.
That would be me. That was the brave one. Although I was kind of stupid enough not to give Joey money to put money on you in New York.
I told you guys.
No,
I told you what was
money
going to
where your
happen.
mouth is, bro. I don't know how much you were on him if you didn't put any money on it. I don't
No,
know.
Joey left. Joey left, so I couldn't do anything about it.
I
You
know
what
a
I'm
lot of people across the world were sending me pictures of their winnings, of their tickets.
Oh, nice.
For me. They're like, thank you. And I've been the underdog on many occasions. Matter of fact, the facilitator himself, another big thank you over there, part of the team.
I got some cash on me.
Hey,
How much?
Everyone paid out. That's to be, yeah, a lot of people got paid out really well. No, it's good. It's good for boxing, man. That's what boxing's all about. The underdog, the one punch could change a fight, the guy that all of a sudden started boxing and he's known to be a brawler. So that's what boxing's all about. It's the intrigue that people enjoy and love. That's why boxing's exciting.
Now let's talk about that because, like I said, we call you the comeback, or I'll call you the comeback because at the end of the day, there's been so many times you came back. You came back against Mickey Bay. We all saw what happened to you when you fought on the Ward Dawson undercard. And
Yes.
It's just like so many people have counted you out, but yet you come back. You continue to make a career for yourself. Again, talking about the Ruslan one, a lot of people had you down and on that one. And obviously, the week that we're in right now, it was supposed to be Fight Week this week.
Yes.
A lot of people thought that you were going to be fighting Danny Garcia this week at the Staples Center this weekend on Saturday, and obviously that didn't go through.
Matter of fact, the fight is on. I don't know if you guys heard about it. We're fighting this weekend at Staples Center. So, you guys show up, be there, get your popcorn ready.
We'll be selling tickets outside the gate.
Yeah.
No, but you were supposed to be fighting Danny this weekend, and it just never came about. And, just talk to us about how frustrating that is, because obviously after a Ruslan victory, you became Terrence Crawford's mandatory, but you also wanted this big fight.
To me, it's not frustrating because we're gonna fight. It's just, and whoever you put my name in the hat with, it's gonna be exciting, regardless. And the fans know that. I believe that's why I've been always where I'm at. But no, it's not frustrating. I mean, I believe the powers that be need to iron out some details. When those get ironed out, the fight will happen. If it's gonna happen, it'll happen.
You mentioned that one punch can change it all.
Yeah.
Now, in the fight against Ruslan Provodnikov, it wasn't one punch, it was your boxing skills. Something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
In 10 years. I've been pro for 10 years,
you're known to be a puncher, and
Yeah.
you're known to maybe sometimes fall behind the cards and then pull out the knockout. But this time you actually showed that you can box.
Well,
you're able to jab and go to the body. You're able to do some things that I hadn't seen in years.
Yeah, actually, no, and of course the whole world was surprised. They said that it was like, it felt weird saying outbox and my name in the same sentence. So I agree with that. I mean, but I got to attribute that to my my new trainer and Shadid Saluki and Kamal Saluki. I think they, he settled me down. He realized, hey, you have that sword. It's always there. You don't have to go find that sword. I don't have to refine your power. I don't have to teach you power. I got to teach you the basics. I got to teach you how to box. And given that, and when I actually trust somebody, you got to trust somebody. Think about it. I got with Shadid, and 7 months later, I'm fighting Ruslan Provodnikov. It's not like, okay, we're gonna test the waters and go in there. We're fighting a guy who's AKA, the boogeyman that no one wants to fight. And we knew what we had. I knew if push come to shove, if he wants to bang it out, firepower, let's do it. I'm game. We're gonna make it a fight. But Shadid settled me down. He showed me deposit that easy money, use my God-given attributes. You got fast hands, you got good reflexes. I threw over 1,000 punches in that fight. I don't think since my fight anyone's thrown 1,000 punches, especially in my weight division or the weight division just north of me, which is welterweight. So I think it was a direct correlation of both my strength and conditioning and majorly in part what Shadid instilled in me in boxing. So, I mean, right now, I feel like I'm the enigma. I'm the Riddler. No one knows what to expect. Okay, am I going to get Frankenstein who's going to come forward and I hit hard, I knock you out? Or am I going to get the guy that threw over 1,000 punches? And I like that. I like that intrigue. So they don't know how to prepare for me. How are you going to prepare for me? Good luck. But I'll see you that night.
I was kind of talking about that and talking about the potential Danny Garcia fight. You know, he's not one to have he doesn't have spectacular footwork or anything like that. He doesn't have spectacular punching power. The guy just finds a way to win.
Of course.
But knowing that, you know, he doesn't have anything kind of that sticks out, super hard hitter, super fast hands, anything like that. Are you kind of almost licking your chops at the potential of that fight, because now you can, you know, have that boxing ability in your pocket, and obviously you always have the one punching power that could end the fight.
Look, the thing that Danny has is you're right. He's always found a way to win against great opposition. People will say, oh, well, in recent times he's quote unquote cherry picking, but I mean the guy was supposed to lose against Amir Khan. He came out on top. He was supposed to lose against Lucas Matisse. He came out on top. So you can't knock the guy for that because he's finding a way to win. Does he impress me? No, he doesn't, and that's not a disrespectful comment towards him. I'm very confident in my ability to be victorious tonight if we do, lace them up and get in the ring together. That's a fight, yes, I am licking my chops for. That's a fight that I feel I have the recipe to disrupt his parade, if you will. So he doesn't, he impresses me that he has his O, it's still intact. Whether you want to call him a cherry picker or not, you know what, he's done well. And he's beaten the guys he wasn't supposed to beat. He's beaten the guys that he was supposed to beat in the fashion that he was supposed to do it in. So you can't knock him at that. But I'm very confident if that fight does happen, if Angel and Danny decide to make that fight happen, we're going to have another Ruslan Provodnikov, John Molina, in the fact that I'll be the underdog and I'll be victorious.
Now, obviously, we see you in this nice gym today, working out and everything. You've been a gym rat, but how is it that you are able to actually work out, train, and still have that motivation, even though you do not have a fight signed at the moment?
Like I said before, man, at the end of the day, I'm a family man. I got mouths to feed at home, and boxing has done exceptionally well for me, and I'm very grateful for it. When you get to a certain plateau, if you will, you don't want it to end. Some guys are different. Some guys get to a plateau and get very comfortable, and then they lose the desire and the drive. For me, I don't ever want it to end. So I want to work harder. Now that I got there, I got to work harder to make it last. So it's very easy to get motivated or to stay motivated. I'm very grateful that I do have a family like that, because if I was single and then I started doing well, maybe I wouldn't be as focused as I am. So everything happens for a reason. Whether you believe in God, Buddha, Allah, I don't know, whatever you believe in, everything happens for a reason. I believe someone higher up is orchestrating this. So.
Who's on your radar right now? If there's no Danny Garcia, no Terrence Crawford, who do you want at 140 or possibly 147?
Look, I've always said, of course, at 140 I want the title. Well, we know one guy has pretty much locked up, which is Crawford. I don't know if Crawford's going to stay at 40. I don't know if he's going to go to 47. To me, the smart business move is for him to go to 47, because that's where the more lucrative fights are for him. Mm-hmm. There's Ricky Burns, who I'm now the #1 contender in the BA. So, and Ricky Burns, again, I don't want to knock him, but I think he's a very beatable champion. And, of course, I want the strap. I would want the strap. But if I'm not going to get the strap, I think I need, it's either 40 or 47. I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy at 40, and I think I'm a big, strong guy at 47 as well. Matter of fact, I don't think Danny's a true welterweight himself. Right. I mean, the guys that he's fought are guys that weren't natural welterweights. They were coming up, Guerrero and Molina Jr. But, with that being said, who's on my radar? If it's not for a strap at 140, I think 47 is, there's a lot of names that I could dance with, and it'll be intriguing.
So I know they talked about Sean Porter at one time.
I think Sean talked about that.
Okay.
I don't know the power. I think Sean brought it out, and me and Sean are good friends, and we're both competitors, so I think both of our names, again, if you put my name in the hat with any of those guys, it's going to be intriguing, whether it be Berto, whether it be Porter, whether it be, Terrence Crawford, whether it be Danny Garcia. I mean, these are names that you say these two names are going to fight, and people are going to be interested. And I'm game. I'm ready. I mean, come on. I've always been the guy that said, oh, well, let's see what Molina shows up. Or, Lucas Matisse, Molina's going to get fed to the lamb. That's another guy that's coming in. And before we decide to pack it all in, me and Lucas got to do it again, because I think the first fight was a great fight. I think the experience that I've gained now, I think that's a fight that I can definitely get him out of here, get him out of the fight. And that's no disrespect to Lucas Matisse. He did what he did, and he beat me. And I'm not making any excuses. It was a great fight. But it's another fight I would like to, that he's coming back at 47. We can do it again at 47.
Allow me to suggest at least 2 fights. I know some people are probably going to say, these guys are on the downside. They're no longer viable options. But I wouldn't mind seeing a fight between you and Robert Guerrero, or possibly even Victor Ortiz. I don't know why. I think that fight could really sell, and I think it'd be an exciting one.
That's interesting. But again, like I said, there's plenty of names out there. I see what you're saying. But after a victory, with all due respect to Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero, after a victory off of Ruslan Provodnikov, I don't think that's the direction we're going. From a business standpoint. I don't know that it makes sense. They're great fighters. Robert Guerrero is a good friend of mine, and I think he will be back. Maybe he took his quote unquote last fight too lightly. But again, this is boxing. Who bet against Buster Douglas when he fought Mike Tyson? You know what I mean? So it's boxing, and that's what happens sometimes. I think Guerrero's a great warrior. I think Victor Ortiz has a lot of question marks. I think he's got a lot to deal with outside of the ring. So I think there's a long track for him to come back, if he's going to come back at all. Again, I'm not saying that he's retired or anything like that, but I'm saying he's got a lot of demons to deal with right now. So I see their suggestions, but I don't see that in the near future.
Right. I was just thinking maybe you testing the waters at 147.
Even there's a Timothy Bradley.
Right.
I like that fight too. He's a great warrior, great champion. And I think he'd be a good fight. There's so many names out there. The list goes on and on. That's why I'm excited for 2017. I'm very excited for it.
Is a name like Errol Spence Jr., he has, obviously in boxing circles, a big name. But he's kind of obviously on that, prospect before kind of becoming contender, kind of becoming, champion. Is that a name that would interest you, or is his name still maybe kind of on a lower tier of guys that you're kind of looking at, guys more popular?
Yeah. And again, it's no disrespect to Errol Spence. He's a hell of a fighter. I think the world of him. I think he's a great fighter. But again, you're right. I think there's steps in this game. And there's steps that he has to take, and he's making the right steps and the right moves. And then one day, if he stays at 47, because I know he's a big 47-pounder, he's actually a big middleweight, junior middleweight, if you want to be truthful. Down the line, when he gains more recognition, although he is very recognizable now, I don't want people to think he ain't on my level. No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, from the business standpoint, his name doesn't make sense right now. And that's kind of the tough spot that he's in. And do I think he's a great fighter? Do I think he's going to be world champion? Absolutely. I think if he fights Cal Brook, I'm very intrigued in that fight, because he's the mandatory. Now that's a business move, because he's the mandatory to fight Cal Brook. Cal Brook. Cal Brook might come down to 47, or Cal Brook might go to 54. But that's where I think where that's at. Right now, I think the lucrative names are like the Danny Garcias of the world. There's a lot of guys at 47. I would even like Pacquiao at 47 as opposed to Jesse Vargas. No disrespect to Jesse Vargas. I just think I'm more of a threat in the perspective of I'm a bigger puncher than he is. And again, Jesse, I know you go off and go crazy on everyone that you think is down talking to you, but I'm just stating the obvious. I believe if you put our records together, I'm the bigger puncher. Granted, I am the smaller guy, quote unquote, in weight, but that's just what it is. Pacquiao, I think, is another name that's an action-packed fight. So there's a lot of names out there.
Why are you talking more about fighting at 147? I know you said the more lucrative names are out there. You're a 140-pounder right now and a 40-pound fighter. Going for that title, again, you're Terrence Crawford's mandatory. We don't know what move he's making next. Why speak about going up to 47 and fighting those bigger names?
Just to let the world know that I can do it if I need to. And again, if I'm staying at 40, it's got to be for that strap. I want the hardware. I know a lot of people say, bouts don't mean anything. But to me personally, in my collection, in my house where I have, there's still a spot for that strap. And I've worked my way to get to a certain point to fight for that strap. That's what I want. And at 40, we know one guy that has it locked up. We know another guy that's showed some interest in Adrian Broner. And that fight might happen for whatever reason, because I believe the WBA, he gets one voluntary before he has a mandatory. So again, the powers that be are going to make that fight happen if it happens. If not, Ricky Burns, hey, we'll go across the pond to go fight you. That's not a big deal. We can do that. I'm now the number 1 guy in the BA, so we can do that. But again, he's a good fighter. He's a 3-time world champion, I believe 3-weight division world champion. People call him a paper champion, but hey, I'm not in the business to knock him. He's found a way to win. He won his last fight. People can say, yeah, his opposition hasn't been to par, but he's a champion nonetheless. He has something I want. And at 40, you tell me who else is there, really.
Hey, could you break down for us Pacquiao versus Vargas? How do you see that fight playing out?
A lot of it has, you can't count out Vargas. He's a game player. It shows even in the Bradley fight where he was losing all the way up until the end. And again, you have the controversy with, I think it was Pat Russell, I believe, or
Yeah, it was Pat Russell, the ref.
that had an accident or a mistake, if you will. We're all human. We make mistakes. I think he's a hell of a referee, and he did the right thing by calling it a day after that mistake. But if you go by track record, Bradley has proven to come back from a devastation like that, and he won the fight other than that last round, so we never know what's going to happen. But I think Vargas has shown that he's a game player, and the only intrigue right now, I believe, is what Pacquiao's going to show up. He looked good against Bradley his last fight after the quote-unquote shoulder injury. And if I'm a betting man, and again, Vargas, I hope we don't get on record and say, "Who the frick's John Molina?" But if I'm a betting man with my hard-earned money, I'm betting Pacquiao wins. That's just, prove me wrong. I don't get hung up on that because my whole career has been, oh, John Molina's gonna get blown out. Oh, he's gonna lose. Oh, Ruslan's gonna beat him. But again, all the talking is cheap until you get in the ring.